Hey everybody, welcome back to another week of Slinging Dirt. On this week's episode, we're going to talk about something that's really important. Teamwork, or lack of, or...
I'm going to say lack of in some cases.
Yeah, in some cases.
We're going to talk a little bit about Park Jefferson in Jefferson, South Dakota.
We're going to mention somebody's first time ever Sport Mod feature win.
Got the one and only Jamie Songer coming up on Another Songer Says.
And a whole lot more, so stay tuned. It's Slinging Dirt. Hey everybody, welcome back to Slinging Dirt this week. Let's just get to it. One thing I've noticed this year, a lot of good runs and points. A lot of good track championships are coming about. One thing, and you and I have talked about it, one thing that is contributed to a lot of these track championships is teamwork.
And it plays a big part in it. I mean,
absolutely.
You don't just show up on race day and go racing with your driver or anything. I mean, if you can't come over during the week, that's fine. But at the same time, being in the shop is what's going to win on the track, ultimately.
Yeah.
You can check the car over, check the welds, check the frame, check the brakes, basic maintenance.
Oil. Yeah.
Check the oil.
You know, in today's world, this isn't 1980-something anymore. It's not 1990-something anymore. Every team, any championship running team has got a team behind them. And when I say team, it's not one or two guys. It's normally 3, 4, or 5 guys. Now, each one of these guys has a busy lifestyle outside of racing. So I can understand that there's going to be times where not everybody can be there in gel. But, you know, in our example, you're available during the day, I'm available at night. We have something called a whiteboard. You write notes down on it or you text each other. But after a while, I think the guys that are only wanting to go for the glory of it on race night and not work on the car, after a while, that's kind of a distraction. You've been a crew chief. You've been a national crew chief.
And having guys like that, it really pisses me off.
Yeah.
They want to come around for the success or for the race day, but they don't want to come around during the week. And if you got a schedule that doesn't allow it, hey, you know what, that's great. But if your schedule does allow it, go to the shop, help them out, be a part of the team. Don't just be a glory hog, because that's,
you know,
it's not worth it to the rest of the team.
No, and sometimes for a lot of you guys out there that are wanting to be on a crew, I give these guys all the credit in the world. I've seen guys on Facebook going, hey, how do I get involved with the race team? I want to be on a pit crew. That's awesome. And the drivers and the crew chiefs and whatnot, they want to see that. What we don't want to see, and I've had this happen, I don't know how many times, but I want to be on your pit crew. Well, then they'll come over, they'll stand at the foot of the garage, hands in pocket, playing on their phone, and then they'll turn right back around. 20 minutes later, they'll go down to Casey's, go get something to eat or a pack of smokes or something, and they're telling everybody how they're on the race team, but I don't know if they've ever even touched the car. You know, and it's a distraction. It really is. But now I've also seen guys show up at the garage, and they may not know as much as you, but doing the little things like a simple nut and bolt check while you're fixing the rear hub, or they're mounting tires as you're changing valve springs on a motor. The little things, a lot of times, can really add up and be a huge help.
Right, and it makes a big difference. I mean, with our situation, I've only got limited time during the day to get over there to work on it.
Actually, in our situation, you and I both at times have limited time. So, I mean, communication is key, you know, and stuff like that. But I've noticed every year it's the top guys running that have the true team. And when I say team, we're talking 3, 4, 5 guys. Now, The one thing, and I'm gonna get some hate mail for this, the one thing that concerns me about the sport, everybody says we're getting into a sport that's, the cost is escalating. It's out of control. Well, the worst proponent of that are the team owners and the drivers that own the cars. You know, it's monkey see, monkey do. This guy goes out and spends $1,000, so this guy thinks he's got to go out and spend $1,100. Now, that's a totally different episode here on Slinging Dirt, but I've seen paid pit crews, and I understand why there's paid pit crews. I, unfortunately, cannot afford to be spending $300-400 a week on my pit crew. It just can't happen. I remember back in 1980, 1990 something, you know, a guy wanted to be on the pit crew. He paid his own pit pass, paid for his own food money. He paid for all that. And now we've gotten to a point where we're having paid pit crews, and it does equate to success on the track. That's one thing I will notice.
And for some of these teams, that they run 3 nights a week, 4 nights a week, 5 nights a week, and they have the extra funds to do it, I can see the advantage of it, because now while the team owner, the driver, whoever it is at work earning that paycheck to pay for the race cars and potentially pay for that crew guy to sit in the garage all day or sit in the shop all day and do nothing but work on your cars, those guys are a dime a dozen that can do all of it.
Yeah.
From hang a body to throw the stickers on to build the car from the ground up in 4 days or less.
Now, I do believe, I'm a firm believer that even if you can't afford to be paying somebody $300, $400, $500 a week, and I'm not saying that there's necessarily anything wrong with that, other than I don't know if at our level of racing that's what we need. Some could, you know, one could make a case for it, one could make a case against it. I do firmly believe that at the very minimum, if you can, try to pay their pit passes, you know, and then outside of racing, try to help them out from time to time. You know, everybody knows I'm broke as heck, but I always try to, you know, take care of the guys a little bit or do something for them. And
even if you, let's say everybody's over at the garage and all of a sudden here comes pizza. Well, you didn't have to, but thanks.
yeah, in your case, it's popsicles. Love the popsicles. You know, for those that are watching the show here, typically I give my guys, you know, 3 free races a week at Joe's, and I usually try to pay their pit passes. But after a while, when you don't have guys coming around the garage, it's a distraction, and you're like, you know, just communicate with me.
Right.
You know,
And if you say you're gonna come over,
come over.
and if you got something that actually popped up where you couldn't, hey, you know what, that's fine. Just be honest about it. I just chose not to come over.
Yeah. The other thing I've noticed, and this happened here 2.5, 3 years ago, the team would actually, outside of racing, what I've noticed is the team would actually hang out together. We would go fishing, or we'd just sit in the house in the AC in the summertime, car's done, and we're watching a movie. It was never set up that way. It just kind of naturally happened. But I tell you what, everybody on that team could do everybody's job. And everybody knew, you know, well, person A really liked helping Bud on the setup. Person B really helped, or really liked, you know, working on tires. But both person A and person B could do the nut and bolt job. So they kind of had their own area, but they could do each other's job at the same time.
And if you can spend time together outside the shop, knock the car out first thing in the week. Do what you have to do your maintenance, wash it, clean the trailer out, pick the shop up if you still need to. But get the car done as soon as you can in a week. That way when that hidden something pops up, you've got plenty of time to deal with it instead of, oh crap, it's Friday at 2 in the afternoon and I've got to go buy a front spindle because we didn't touch it until Thursday night.
Yeah.
But the sooner you can get the car done, the sooner the team, if they choose, they can go fishing. They can go hit a gun range, go to a movie.
Go golfing.
Yeah, something. They can do something outside the shop to keep the morale up, to keep positivity going.
My dad was a big firm believer. It didn't matter whoever you are, whether it was Jesse Sabine, Derek Ramirez, Buddy Ray, Tom, Dick, or Harry down the street with whatever class car. You had to balance your racing with your personal life.
Right.
And if the pit crew could take their personal lives and interact with each other, the team was going to be a lot better because it wasn't just all about work. Now you guys could have fun together too. And after a while, I thought Dad couldn't have said that any better. I seen it firsthand. It was amazing. You know, we're talking back in the days where, you know, Fred Lauer was helping us. Oh my God, Fred and I, we'd do all kinds of stupid stuff together outside of the car. But it was, you know, Sunday, we weren't racing, so everybody's like, you're gonna take all day Sunday? No, if the two of you gel really good together, I mean, you and I've done it, you can knock out a lot of stuff in 2 or 3 hours. Right. Well, guess what? If you're up by 11 o'clock and in 3 hours, you're done by 2 or 3, now you have all day Sunday night just to relax, you know, hobnob around. But that gets us into another aspect of racing. Fun. I don't know how many times I've seen this year, to be successful in the sport, you gotta have fun.
Yep.
I've been told if you're having fun, you'll never go nowhere in the sport. You need to treat it serious, you need to treat it as a job. If you're just out here taking laps, you're never gonna be a nobody.
You need to be able to balance it. You need to be able to be serious when it needs to be serious, but you still need to have fun. Even if it's at a serious point in the night or at the shop, serious when need be. Joke and laugh all you want outside of that, because if you're not having fun, it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're not having fun, is it really worth it?
Yeah, I've always been a firm believer that when you have fun doing something, it opens up the creative process. When it opens up the creative process, success will follow. You gotta have fun to have the creativity to have the success. I've never seen anybody who's had a lot of success in dirt track racing going, Jesus, I can't believe I gotta go do this Friday night. I can't believe I gotta go sit in this hot ass car. It's 120-degree heat index, but I guess I'll go win a feature. I've never seen it happen that way. I've seen some of the funniest, jovial, lighthearted people winning races, and they'll get out and they'll say some smart alecky little comment like, oh, I guess it was kind of tough, or you know, it was hard getting up there, but we got it done. But they were having fun. I mean, look at the success we've had. This year, there's a very good chance I'm gonna finish top 5 in points at Crawford County. 23 years of sitting in the seat, never finished higher than 6th. So we've eclipsed that. And you and I were just talking today, I've been closer to being farther than that because of a few nights this year. But with that being said, top 5 in points at Crawford County Speedway. But outside of the track, I can only go back to the Storm Lake, Iowa night. You and I were talking, how much fun have we had?
Well, and like we said on last week's episode, you know, we were out for a couple-day cruise going racing, enjoyed the whole trip. But to just sit there and do something asinine like that, knowing how many cops traveled that highway, by the way, it was fun.
Yeah.
And it really was. And even if you're a crew that's got a $100,000 budget and you're out there racing 4 or 5 nights a week, you still got to stop and have fun once in a while.
You got
as silly as it sounds, even just spraying somebody with the water bottle.
Oh, yeah. I tell you what, we got to go to commercial break, but I want to hear from you guys here on the Slinging Dirt page. What do you guys think of teamwork? Do you guys have expectations for your crew members? And then also, what do you guys do for fun outside of the car? Or what do you guys do for fun within the racing operation to keep that fun there? Let us know. But we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back here on Slinging Dirt.
Joe's Karting is the Metro's fastest indoor karting facility. Come to Joe's to experience speed, join the competition, and ride the fastest indoor track around. Our professionally designed indoor karting track is perfect for arrive and drive racing, race classes, and racing competitions. We offer affordable pricing options, membership packages, event outings, and so much more. Stop in today to get registered for your next race, and don't forget to like us on Facebook for deals, giveaways, and more. Visit us online at joeskarting.com.
Wow. Look at that. Woo. That's something. Oh, hey everybody. Welcome back to Slinging Dirt. We were just checking out pictures of Park Jefferson. Yeah, up in Jefferson, South Dakota. We were looking at the angle of the track, you know, and how wide the surface was. I mean, yeah, I don't think anybody's buying it, but it's the truth.
A couple of those pictures of Josh Blome winning another heat race.
Yeah, what the hell is up with Josh Blome?
He runs around with Ricky the Racer.
Are you sure he's winning the heat races, or is he just, you know, he does have Artworks Graphics, is he just printing stickers off?
I think he's probably throwing Ricky in that car, nobody's realizing it.
And just wearing the suit after the races so everybody can go, Josh, you did real good. And Ricky's over there going, just eat your nachos. Just eat your nachos. No, we went to Park Jefferson this last Saturday night. First time, I bet you it's been 10 years since I've been there.
That's been probably 4 years since I've been up there.
When we got up there, I'm expecting this big old, gnarly old half mile, kind of like a Harlan. I knew they had covered grandstands, but I'm thinking something that's like 3 blocks long, just massive, kind of like a Harlan covered grandstands, but fully enclosed. And then I get up there and I'm like, this is Park? I'm like, this is not the Park that I remember.
Well, and they've moved the pits.
Yeah.
On the front side of the facility. When they were on the back side of the facility, the stands did look a lot bigger. The track seemed a whole lot bigger. Now that they've moved the pit location and where the teams, the crew, the drivers stand on the catwalk to watch the races, the whole place does appear smaller from that vantage point now.
Racing that track, I thought the track was very, very racy. A feature time, it got kind of rough, but they had races on Thursday night, and then following, you know, they had sprint cars and late models on the Thursday night with Lucas Oil and the ASCS, and then, you know, the track, you know, sealed over, got hard. They only had a couple of days to work it. It wasn't a bad track. It was a little rough, but not like, oh my God, I'm never going back there again. Rod Olson, he is the promoter up there. That or track director. They might actually have a promoter and Rod Olson as a track director. I'm not for sure, but either way, if you get a hold of Rod Olson on Facebook, he's the same guy that runs Buena Vista Raceway and Crawford County Raceway. Crawford County Speedway. What'd I say? Raceway. Oh, Crawford County Speedway. Boy, my raceway, speedways, motorplexes, and whatnot.
Here you go talking about Jamie's Iowa Enduro Series again.
Yeah, Jamie's Iowa Enduro Series. It's Supreme Enduro Series, Jamie, calm down. So, but anyways, Park Jefferson, up there for a weekly night. I actually thought there was some good racing. Now, the hobby stock feature was a little, ugh.
They probably could have called a time limit on that one about 30 minutes prior to the checkered flag.
Yeah, that was getting a little carried away, I thought. All in all, not a bad night. Some really good cars up there. You had Jeff Brunson up there. Let me see. You had Jeff Brunson, some idiot by the name of Josh Blome. He was doing all right. Well, he makes stickers and puts them on his car. Todd Boulware. Todd Boulware ran up there. You know, talking to Todd, he's actually kind of he's a pretty cool guy. Just kind of soft-spoken, lighthearted, just nonchalant. Really, he looks kind of like a badass, but talking to him, he's really nice. Right. That's probably the most I've ever talking to Todd Boulware. Really good to see him. Ricky the Racer Steffen, I think, is going to win points up there at Park Jefferson.
Rumor has it he's on track to win 4 track championships this year.
4. Wow. I wonder where that puts him in Iowa points. It's got to be putting him right up there. I do know he's 5th or 6th in national point.
You can say the last I've seen the national standings, he was sitting top 10, but I haven't looked in a few weeks.
Yeah. Park Jefferson. Here's some photos of Park Jefferson. Here's a photo of the track surface, or a couple of them. One of the coolest things about Park Jefferson that I like is their covered concession stand. Check these out, people. Here is their concession stand. It's all covered. In the event of a rainout or a rain delay, you got plenty of seating. And then their great big box suite covered grandstand. That's really, really cool looking. It's all air conditioned. But I bet well, how I was gonna put this? I knew it could hold quite a few people, and so when I saw the grandstands, I was like, that doesn't really hold that many. But you take a look at that big covered grandstand area, that box suite area.
I bet you it holds twice as many
Oh,
as what
yeah.
the open stands will.
Yeah. Just a neat little nice facility out in the countryside. I just kind of want to say it's a country mile north of Jefferson, South Dakota.
Mile marker 4 on Highway 105.
Yeah, mile marker 4. If you're going north on 29 and you get up to mile marker 4, the GPS, I did find out, is liable to take you over the interstate. No. Get off on mile marker 4. You're going to take a right, go to the T intersection, take a left. It'll take you straight to the track. Do not follow GPS. So keep that in mind. So I guess if you're southbound, mile marker 4, you will take a left and go over the interstate. That's one thing I do want to mention.
And when you get to the track, you want to hang a right off to the track and not a left into Raceway Park, because there is another track literally right across the street.
Yep. But just a really neat facility. When I went in to get my transponder, everybody up in there was in the building was really, really nice, really friendly. You and I have seen this a lot with the tracks we've gone to on Saturday nights. Where you been, bud? How you been? I know we had showed up at the pit gate, and right away somebody's like, Matt, what are you doing here?
Yep. Yep. And I looked right at him and said, I figured I'd come see how the fast racers do it.
Yeah, trust me, we weren't fast.
And actually, that guy's the current AMOD points leader up there.
Yeah. We wanted to see how the fast guys do it. One thing I noticed about Park Jefferson, the atmosphere after the races. I was looking around, and there was, I'm not going to say trashy cars, but there were some cars where you could tell that these guys just didn't have a lot of money in their operation. I'm not knocking it, and I'm not making fun of them, but they had just as big a group of people in their pit stall as Ricky the Racer did. Ricky the Racer Stephan. I noticed that. That's one of the very few things I've noticed this year, and I noticed at Park Jefferson is it seemed like there was an equal amount of people. The one thing that really impressed me was Rod Olson. Rod Olson was going, once again, I believe his actual name is the track director, his titled name. He's got a beer in his hand, just as lighthearted as all get out, and he's going from stall to stall to stall to stall to stall. Very, very hands-on. Really impressed with Rod.
And that's one thing Rod does with all 3 of his tracks. Before the races, he tries to hit every single pit. Thanks for coming out, shakes your hand, have a good night. By the end of the night, he's coming around, thanks for coming out, hope you had a good time, hope you come back again. And the 3 tracks that Rod's in control of, I've seen that at all 3 tracks this year from him.
Oh, yeah. Couldn't agree more.
The only other track that I've been to this year that I've seen that was Joe Koziski at I-80 Speedway. Outside of that, that's something simple that directors, promoters, track crew, anybody affiliated with the track can walk around and do that.
We get that. We see that at Corning.
We do see that at Corning every time we're down there.
But with Corning, I guess they got some guy by the name of Jim Wilson. Never seen the guy, never met the guy. Well, I've probably seen him, just wouldn't know who he is. Every time we're down in Corning, I see Jacob Ducky Best. God, I love saying that, Ducky Best.
I wonder if he ever found his goose.
Yeah. So him, and then there's Jody Maben on the fire crew, and then there's another guy, and I can't even remember what his name is, but he drives around that Gator down there at Corning. But regardless, you see the officials going from car to car to car to car to car. That really does stand out with us drivers for the promoters watching. It's one thing to go on Facebook and go, well, look at who's here, take a picture, look who's here, and put it on Facebook. That's one thing to do that. But to actually get down and go talk to the driver and do that with everybody, not just a select few, that's huge.
Right.
But Park Jefferson, we will be back. Don't know how soon. We will be back. We've only got so much time left in the season, and all the tracks want us back. We just can't make them all.
We're getting to the point of the season where we've got more tracks to go to than we have time to get to them.
Absolutely. We've had tracks in Michigan, Texas, Colorado, Kansas. We got a lot of people wanting us to come racing, and season's just about over. I mean, good Lord. So, Park Jefferson, all in all, good time. The only thing I would say about Park Jefferson is the calling. I mean, we don't really necessarily have a bad experience at any one given track, but that's one thing how they make the calls there. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna run the track down. I'm not mad at the track. It is a good track. It is a good facility, a lot of good racers.
Well, and with this call, there was a lot of people associated with the track, employees, whoever it may be, that did not agree with the call that was made. But ultimately, the person that made the call was the person that was in charge of it, so.
Yeah, it is what it is. So, but if you guys, I will tell you, if you do get a chance to go to Park Jefferson, go to Park Jefferson. You're gonna see some really good racing on a half-mile track. It is a nice banked facility. I did hear quite a few people, the food is good in the concession stands. So that's a big plus. So get on up to Park Jefferson. They're in Jefferson, South Dakota. They race on Saturday nights. It is IMCA sanctioned. So we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna be right back here on Slinging Dirt. We got a whole lot more, so stay tuned.
Does your car smell as bad as Jamie Songer does? Come on down and we'll take care of you. Well, we're gonna scrub all your vinyl, we're gonna clean all your seats, your carpet, everything. We're gonna put a conditioner on it, make a nice shine. It's gonna last for a long, long time. Then we're gonna head to the outside of your car. We're gonna do a nice hand wash with a buff with a nice hand wax finish. Call us at 282-4339.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Slinging Dirt. It's that time of the week where we have the one and only Songer Says. Everybody knows that, viewer discretion is advised, but he's got a damn good topic this week.
Almost all of his topics are.
Well, yeah.
Almost all of them.
I wonder if he records a lot of these on the way to or the way back home from the Supreme Enduro Series. That's right, the Supreme Enduro Series. It's the fastest enduro series in the state of Iowa and southern Minnesota. It is supreme, it is the almighty, it is the alpha to the omega, it is the Supreme Enduro Series. Just wanted to point that out there. Jamie this week, he's talking about young kids in the sport. Now they're in the last few years, well I say few years, I'm going to say since the invention of the sport mods, figure 2003, 2004, we've had an influx of kids coming into the sport. And I'm not against it, but we've had a large number of kids racing on mom and dad's dime that will just tear the hell out of equipment.
Yep, unfortunately, that's true.
Yeah. I know Jamie talks about this. We haven't really seen the whole spiel. I know Jamie's take on this, but if I had to guesstimate, Jamie's feel on this topic is going to be a lot like mine. If you're, as a veteran racer, if you're 16 and you've never done this sport, and I've told a lot of 16-year-olds, Take back in the day, you're helping Jesse in the sport mods. Jesse's a big-time national champion. Jesse knows he's going to be out there with a couple 16-year-olds that have never done this before. Right away, that kind of makes the veteran driver a little nervous because you know they're going to be like this on the track. But I told the guys, like, why don't you go over and introduce yourself to all these big-name guys. One, tell them that if you get into them, you're new, you're learning. We all got to start somewhere. One, it'll get you respect from the drivers. They know who to watch out for. What do you think?
I don't think it's a bad idea at all to go approach, especially as a new driver or newer driver, or even just you've been racing 10 years, you go to a new track.
Yeah.
Go introduce yourself to the fellow racers. It doesn't have to be all, I'm in a sport mod, so I'm going to talk to the A-mod guys. It has to be in your respective class.
Absolutely.
A-mod, hobby, sport compact, it doesn't matter. As long as it's your respective class, I think it's a good idea to at least go introduce yourself. First time at the track, first time in a car, rookie season, whatever it is. Because it not only makes you look better to them, but it also gives them the insight that we do have a new driver in the track tonight.
One of the worst things I think a new driver can do also is go out there with daddy or mommy's big old checkbook and start tearing up cars, because not always do these young drivers know who these veteran drivers are. And the last thing you're going to want to do is take on somebody who's been in the sport for 15 years, has won a bunch of races, because at that moment when you trash their car, they don't care how old you are, where you're from, or what you're doing. When they're pissed, they're going to junk your stuff.
I will say that I've seen plenty of, and I guess we'll say kids, 20 or younger, get a free car from mom and dad, free equipment. Some of them go out and they tear the stuff up like it's no big deal. There's other times the kids will go out and they'll screw up on the track or off the track, and I've seen that car get yanked away the rest of the season, sold, parked for a night, parked for a month. So if you've got a parent that can provide the car, okay. But if you've got the parent that's smart enough to take it away, that's even better. It's no different than your first street car driving to school. You get a speeding ticket, mom and dad will scream and yell at you, and they might take the car away for a month.
Yeah. So I tell you what, you know how we feel. Here's Jamie Songer on this subject. So pay close attention, all you young drivers and dads. Here you go.
Warning, the related content may be disturbing to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
All right, so let's talk about the dad or the mom or someone who thinks their kid never does any wrong. Now, I got a young kid that races, and I guarantee you when he messes up, which all kids do, I make him either go apologize or we have a long discussion about it. I'm not a dick about it. I don't scream and yell. I just tell him, hey, you better go say sorry to this guy or sorry to that guy. Or, you know, go see if they're mad, whatever. I send him by himself. I don't go with him. But the ones who are horrible are the dads who think their crash dummy kid never ever does anything wrong. You know, he's hit everything for 3 weeks in a row, wrecked 3 or 4 cars, and now he's wrecked somebody else, and that dad wants to come in your pit and yell, "You're what's wrong with racing, jackwagon. You're the reason that nobody wants to race with young kids. Your kid thinks he does nothing wrong because you go and scream and yell at everybody, and then you pay to fix the damn thing. So what's he learning? He didn't get any money taken from him because he wrecked. He didn't get anybody telling him he was screwing up, hitting people. So guess what? He ain't ever gonna get better, and he's gonna keep hitting people. This is part of it that really, really pisses me off. If my kid does something wrong, I'm the first to walk over, to talk to him, or if I think it's a bad situation, I'll go talk to the person who was involved. I don't go screaming and yelling thinking my kid did nothing wrong. And I'm not saying every young kid out there, there's some young kids out there that are the most talented racers out there. But if you're not them, Dad, think about it a little while. Take the Songer Madden rule, apply it, wait 3 to 4 minutes, think about it, and then come yell and scream. Because one day you might lose your teeth yelling about your kid.
Hey guys, I'm Jeff with DriveDirtCars.com. Does your current race operation look like this? Well, if it does, give us a call at 815-990-2657. We're actually financing Harris Race Cars and CMC Crate Motor Connection crate motors for your racing operation. Our payments range anywhere from $200 to $350 a month. If you'd like to get a new motor or you'd like to get a new chassis, give us a call, 815-990-2657.
Well, it's about that time of the show where, we're getting ready to wave the checker flag and say goodbye for the day or for the week. But coming up this upcoming week, we are going to either be going to Shelby County Speedway or Mayetta. By the time you guys see this show, we have already gone to one of those two tracks. So we don't know, as of this sitting, we don't know where we're going yet, but by the time you see this show, we've already been to one or the other.
Right. As most people know, the show comes out a week after. So us talking Mayetta or Harlan was technically 2 days ago.
Right.
Now that you're watching the show.
One thing before we close out, Cody Thompson. Wow.
He's going to be another one to keep an eye on. Picked up his first Sport Mod win.
In 6-7 nights?
Yep.
Something like that. And he battled toe-to-toe with one of the best up-and-coming Sport Mod drivers, another young kid, Caleb Kennedy. Caleb, unfortunately, was in a serious rollover accident at Shelby County Speedway. His season is done. As of this sitting here recording the show, he's done.
And not saying he's going to come back or he's not going to come back, but there's a lot of cases where drivers take a pretty good hit like that and they don't have the funds or the equipment to replace what just was damaged. And knowing Caleb and his family, I could easily see him coming back.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, it's late enough in the year. Is it really worth putting another car together? Maybe not. But nonetheless, it's a good thing he was okay.
Absolutely.
And hopefully sooner than later, he'll be back out with another car.
Let me ask you this. I've heard this from several people. And I don't know if you've been involved. I don't think Jesse's ever rolled. But you've been with other drivers that have rolled, haven't you?
I have.
So here's this was brought to my attention. Once you're in that violent rollover accident, it almost helps you as a driver, ironically, because then the fear of getting sideways or the fear of spinning out or the fear of the hit, all those fears are gone. So now you're like, well, I survived this. I can do whatever I can do in the car now. And I've heard that from other people.
And there's a lot of drivers that say that. And for me, my best rule of thumb, doesn't matter if you've been racing for 15 years or it's your first night out. Let's say it's your first night out of the season. Go out and loop that damn car, because now you know just how hard you can take it.
Looping it's one thing, rolling it's totally different.
And nobody sets out to roll it, but yes, I have had drivers tell me that when they do roll, the gloves come off. They just go out there and race now. They don't have to worry about rolling because now it's done.
Yeah, I always thought about that, and I sure as heck ain't gonna go out there for one of our sport mods and just try to roll it. One of our biggest deals, Matt's been working with me, is to just drive. Don't overanalyze, don't overthink, just drive. I mean,
Right, Jamie?
yeah. So, I thought about that, and I've looped it a couple of times this year, but I've never rolled it. But I don't know how many times I've heard somebody, well, once you roll it, then you feel like you're invincible because you've already been upside down. You just get back, put it over, just go drive the wheels off of it, and it's like, it just opens up new doors with your driving. I'm not saying that you need to go roll a car, by no means am I saying that, but I thought that was interesting to bring up. Tracks that we want to hit later this year. We were thinking maybe Cornhusker Classic. That's contingent though. There's a few drivers out of Colorado wanting to make that pull to go and race the Cornhusker Classic.
I don't think they've got enough balls to race that race.
Yeah, Jacob Feller might.
I'd like to see Feller. I'd like to see that old car again.
Yeah, yeah, I bet you would. Jacob Feller from Colorado might make the pull out. Ryan Mosier from Colorado might make the pull out. Bill Smith is still digging his testicles out of his wife's purse to see if he can come out. Doug Erickson, stay home. If you got the current car, stay home. That or Bill might let you race the Bills. Bill, you've already been to I-80. Bill hasn't, so I don't think Bill's gonna let that work. I was actually thinking about for the first time in, believe it or not, 4 or 5 years of running the Tiny Lund this year. I don't know yet.
I do know Dylan Smith's won a few of them in the last couple of years.
At the Tiny Lund or? Yes. Are you sure the Tiny Lund or the Classic? The Cornhusker Classic?
Between Dylan and Bill Layton. I think Layton won it 2 years in a row actually with Dylan's car.
Wow.
I'd have to double check, but I think so.
Yeah, so there's some, we wanted to go down to Hayes, Salina. I know, Bill Smith, calm down. Doug Erickson, calm down. We're wanting to go to Hayes. We just don't know if we can make it work yet.
I can say we've talked about Lexington, Nebraska, but I don't know if we're going to be able to make it out there or not before their season's up.
Yep, I'd like to possibly go to Corning again.
Speaking of Lexington, Mike Nichols, number 44.
Yes, number 44. We have enough races left. Is he making 50?
He's going to make 50.
55.
Be a stretch, but I think he could, if he wins out with a perfect season, he's easily going to hit 55. 50 for sure. I can very easily see 55 also.
He's already a stud. He's a legend in a stock car. But he's going to elevate the stature of that class beyond anybody's comprehension come 2017, especially now that Home Pride Motorsports has come on.
Yeah.
I mean, good Lord. So, gonna be fun to watch what Mike Nichols does next year. So, tell you what, that's all the time we have for this week's show here on Slinging Dirt. Stay tuned next week when God knows what we're gonna talk about with Jamie Songer and a whole lot more. So, we'll see ya.